Zombies. It's our unique take on the cooperative horde mode, where every map is packed full of powerful weapons and upgrades, deadly enemies, and tons of secrets to uncover. The legacy of Zombies is incredibly important to Treyarch, and we are so proud of what the mode is bringing to players in Black Ops 6. As you've heard today, the innovations in movement systems will also be coming to Zombies. Plus, there are many additional zombie-specific features, both new and returning. This is going to be a truly epic return for round-based zombies. Be on the lookout for more intel coming later this year.
Steph interviewed AB. Mark?
Now, we know we only gave you a little taste of multiplayer here today, so make sure to mark your calendars for our worldwide multiplayer reveal event at Call of Duty Next on August 28th. Make sure to stay tuned for details and watch your favorite streamers get hands-on Black Ops 6 so you can be prepped and ready to jump into our MP beta and feel Omni movement for yourself. We'll be sharing so much more about Black Ops 6 in the coming months and look forward to seeing your reactions and your feedback from our open beta coming up this fall and into launch. And it's not just about launch, because the team is already focused on delivering a ton of content in the live seasons, which we'll be sharing more about. Am I allowed to talk about Warzone yet?
No.
Our goal on Black Ops 6 was, and still is, to make something that is the best work we've ever done, and frankly, the most fun to play. To do that, we deconstructed all of our gameplay, our systems, and content plans, and repeatedly asked how something could be better. In some cases, that led us to huge innovations like Omni Movement, where we're now allowing players to move how real people and operators move. In other cases, it led us back to some of our classic systems like Prestige, then taking that classic system through the ringer and making updates and improvements. Across our weapons, gear, operators, maps, and more, a huge push has been to hit the highest visual and audio fidelity possible. The campaign tells an all-new Black Ops story where you're forced to go rogue and are being hunted by the teams that trained you. On top of that, the team is really focused on mission and engagement variety. Multiplayer is a key ingredient in the DNA of Black Ops, and hopefully, in this sneak peek, it was clear that every single part of the MP game loop will be improved and better than ever, from movement, to shooting, to footsteps, to engagement systems, to death. And last but definitely not least, the triumphant return of round-based zombies. There is so much more to share across all 3 game modes before the game officially launches on October 25th. On behalf of the entire team, we can't wait for you to play Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
I can't.
What's up, guys? My name is Ace, and today we got the big reveal for Black Ops 6. And I can finally let you know that a little while back, I did actually get to play some Black Ops 6 at the Treyarch studio. And unfortunately, I can't really go into any details about my impressions or anything like that at this stage. All I can say is I have played this game. And in today's video, I am going to be going through all of the highlights, all of the main points that I think are most important to talk about here from today's reveal event, specifically relating to multiplayer. I'm not going to be talking about the campaign or the zombies at all here. This channel is really all about multiplayer, so that's what we're covering today. And without further ado, let's dive into probably the biggest change here that we see, or the biggest innovation with this game, and this is their omnidirectional movement. In Black Ops 6, you can sprint in any direction, you can dive in any direction, and you can dive and fire at the same time. And they have this new prone system as well, where if you try to spin while in prone, instead of doing that really awkward slow turn where your whole whole body spins very slowly. Now you'll actually roll onto your back, which just looks a lot more natural and what you would expect if somebody were trying to roll over and look behind them while prone. But that also means you can do some pretty cool moves like a diving 180, for instance, and you'll spin around in the air. Then you can shoot at somebody that was behind you. I think that's a pretty cool move. Next, something I noticed in these gameplay clips is it looks like in multiplayer, you'll also be able to take an enemy player hostage. You'll be able to get behind them and use them as a shield, as it's showing here. Then on top of that, they've worked out a new intelligent movement system that limits the number of button presses required for certain actions while moving around the map. And they do show the settings for this, and it shows this as something you can toggle on and off for all of the different options. So we have sprint assist, mantle assist, and crouch assist. According to this, we'll be able to customize that however we want. And if you don't like this intelligent movement system, it appears we can just turn them all off entirely. After that, sticking with new movement tech here, we also have corner slicing in the game. And this is something that happens automatically as you approach a corner. Your character will automatically lean on that corner, just like you would see operators do. And this looks pretty cool as well. It looks a lot more fluid and dynamic than like the leaning system from COD Ghosts back in the day where you had to activate that. It's also very different from mounting, so you're not attaching to the wall or anything. You'll simply see a subtle lean as you strafe around the corner if you are close to that corner. They also say this is tied to your movement speed, so the slower you approach that corner, the more you're going to see that lean take place, whereas if you come around really quickly, it's not going to lean for you nearly as much. After that, throughout the reveal, they did have a section talking about the improved fidelity and realism that they've done with this game. They have a system in place now where, depending on where in the body you're shooting somebody, when they die, it'll play a unique animation. So if you shoot them in the shoulder, for instance, that'll play a different death animation than if you shot them in the leg or the head, for instance. On top of that, it looks like we see some pretty drastic graphics improvements from Cold War. This is now running on the modern branch of the Call of Duty engine, although it still seems to have a very Black Ops look to it, which I'm happy to see that. This is something I was a little bit concerned about, as this would look just like Modern Warfare, for instance, with them transferring over to the new engine, but it still seems to have a very distinct Black Ops look and feel to it. Next, let's talk about our heads-up display in multiplayer. With Black Ops 6, they're bringing a ton of options into play, so you can customize your heads-up display however you want. So if you want to move your mini-map around, you can do that. Or if you want to just turn it off, even in core game modes, you can do that. So you're not necessarily stuck with that mini-map on the top left of your screen. And if you prefer it on the top right of your screen, you can do that. If you want it on the bottom center of your screen, it looks like you can do that as well. And I think this is pretty cool. For me, I'm probably just going to be sticking to the standard layout, just because that's what I've been used to for all of these years of Call of Duty, and it is my preferred layout in an FPS game. But the fact that they're providing those options is excellent. Then let's talk a little bit about Prestige. They had a section talking about this, and while they didn't go into every single detail of how the Prestige works, I'm sure we'll find out more information about this as time goes on. What they did mention is we are going to be seeing a more traditional Call of Duty Prestige system, and it's going to be fully available from day one. And to me, that sounds like we aren't getting seasonal additions to our Prestige or anything. Prestige is our Prestige, and this is what's going to be taking place throughout the entire game. And then I think it's pretty safe to assume here, since they're saying it's a more traditional Prestige system, it's likely going to be set up in a way where when you Prestige, you have to re-unlock all your items again, hopefully with some permanent unlock tokens and other advancements that they made with the Prestige system over all those years of our traditional Prestige. In either case, I'm definitely excited to see more information when it comes to Prestige, and this is something I'm personally really looking forward to. I know it's a little bit polarizing. Some people don't like the traditional Prestige system. Other people love it. For me, I think this is going to increase my playtime quite a bit this time around with Call of Duty. Next up, I had a little section where Matt was talking about the 3 different play styles that they focused their gameplay design around when creating Black Ops 6. This is something that we've seen in the past, like with Modern Warfare 2. This is where the Sentinels term came from Infinity Ward. This time, no Sentinels, I'm glad to see. It looks like they focus it around Enforcers, who are going to be the Slayers that like to kill and stay on the move. Then they've got Recon, which is all about intel and counter-intel play. And then finally, they have these Strategists, who are the support players that are all about objective play. And I mean, when it comes to this stuff, we really just have to wait to see how it ends up playing out once we get it in the hands of the community. But it is refreshing to see that they don't have a dedicated role that they focused on for Sentinel play, because we all know how that worked out with Modern Warfare 2. Next up, just wanted to make a quick note that's different from Black Ops Cold War. They are going to have a traditional score streak system in this game, not the Cold War style score streak system, but a true streak system where if you die, it resets and you have to start your streak over again. And I think that's excellent news. That was one of my least favorite things about Black Ops Cold War, and I'm really glad to see that streak system gone. After that, something a lot of people are going to be very happy to see, theater mode is finally coming back to Call of Duty. It's been a very long time since we've had access to theater mode, so we will be be able to go in, watch our matches again, watch them from other players' perspectives as well, or from a third-person perspective, and get some cool cinematic shots. I'm really looking forward to having that back in the game as well. And now let's talk a little bit about content for multiplayer at launch. It appears we're going to be getting 12 6v6 maps at launch, and then 4 strike maps, which are going to be much smaller maps, like 2v2 gunfight style maps. However, they also mentioned you'll be able to play 6v6 on those maps, so it looks like Face Off is returning, and I know a lot of people will be happy to see that. That seemed to be quite a popular mode back in Cold War. I hope they keep it similar where we don't have score streaks in those Face Off playlists, so it's just all about fast-paced gun-on-gun action, and you don't have to worry about streaks just constantly raining down on you with nowhere to hide since the map is so small. Another note on map design, they did mention 3-lane maps, so it appears that's going to be a big focus, which is no surprise. It's a Treyarch game. Treyarch loves their 3-lane maps. In my opinion, 3-lane maps are by far the best for Call of Duty with a 6v6 experience. It just makes the most sense. And Treyarch maps is something I'm really looking forward to, as well as Treyarch spawns. Hopefully the spawns are in a good state for launch. Next, throughout the reveal, we did get a brief flash at our first look at Gunsmith in Black Ops 6, and it appears it's going to be quite similar to what we're seeing in many ways. Like, you can see the list of attachments toward the bottom. That's a very familiar looking layout. But with this screenshot, it does appear we can have up to 8 attachments on the gun. Although I'm assuming that's going to be through wildcards. Apparently, we're going to have 3 tiers of perks as well as wildcards available. And another thing with the perks is, according to Charlie Intel, perks are divided into perk 1, 2, and 3, and if you equip the same category of perks across all 3, which I'm sure we'll get a lot more information about as time goes on, then you get a specialty, which is like an additional perk added to your character. And with that, that is going to wrap it up for the primary things that I wanted to talk about in today's video, mainly just the big things. However, I noticed there's also a bunch of just little things that I picked out here or there that aren't really deserving of their own entire section in this video, and instead, I think I'll make another video throughout the week this week, pulling out all of these little details that you can find throughout this as well. Just a hint on one of them, for instance, it looks like Nuketown is returning. So with that, that is going to wrap it up for the primary things that we learned today when it comes to multiplayer. And at the end of the day, I'm sure I've already got a lot of comments on the video and a lot of people thinking this. With this reveal, there was obviously no mention of matchmaking or persistent lobbies or anything like that. And I know for many people, that's the big elephant in the room. This is something where I hope they talk about this more as time goes on. They did mention Call of Duty Next is coming toward the end of August, which honestly, I'm not sure if I'm going to do this more as time, persistent lobbies or anything like that. And at the end of the day, I'm sure I've already got a lot of comments on the video and a lot of people thinking this. With this reveal, there was obviously no mention of matchmaking or persistent lobbies or anything like that. And I know for many people, that's the big elephant in the room. This is something where I hope they talk about this more as time goes on. They did mention Call of Duty Next is coming toward the end of August, which honestly, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to attend that since I probably won't want to be leaving my wife alone with a newborn baby at that stage. But in either case, since I am anticipating a lot of comments about that, we haven't heard anything about any potential changes to matchmaking or disbanding lobbies or anything like that. And I would say probably don't hold your breath on that. I never really expect this stuff to change. I think it would be a really pleasant surprise if it does, but we just don't know at this point. And with that, this is where I'm curious to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Based on what you saw in this reveal for Black Ops 6, how are you feeling about all of this news? Are you generally happy to see a lot of these changes and improvements? Or are there any that you're skeptical about or just straight up don't like at all? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.
Can't really be surprised, ladies and gentlemen. Ice Poseidon gets caught.
Listen, dude, if you were still following around Ice Poseidon in 2022, you gotta be an idiot.
$300,000 from a crypto rug pull scam.
I don't think he regrets anything or feels bad about any of this.
It's not a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme. Okay, I don't really know how to explain it. I don't know, dude. I might be on Terminal 5. I don't know where I am. I'm just on 53A. That's my gate. And I'm not sure telling you guys that is a good idea, but what can you possibly do, right?
The news, Phoenix police searching an American Airlines plane at Sky Harbor. Police say an anonymous threat was called in. That threat wound up being not credible.
Only ABC 15's John Erickson in the terminal with those relieved passengers denied.
Paul Denio.
Passengers on that American Airlines flight from Los Angeles say that after they landed here, police surrounding the plane and
let's hear what Jordan Peterson's primary grievances are.
Well, the first thing I would say is that you should be very careful what you name things.
Bro, you can't be wearing this ass shirt and be like, oh, the gays in Pride Month. It's like, bro, you need a little bit of homosexuality in your life, big dog. At least like put on a different suit if we're gonna be talking shit about the queers. I'm sorry, this is ridiculous. What is happening here? That's gallery department.
And pride is not a virtue. And I've brought that up with people before, and their objection always is, well, they don't really mean pride. People are just trying to affirm their own identities. And, you know, fair enough, I suppose, to some degree, but that was the name that was chosen, and that's the name that stuck. And pride is a cardinal sin, and there's a reason for that. And the reason is that pride means something like stubborn refusal to change when evidence of error is accruing, and it's not a good thing. There's a real tinge of narcissism, sexual narcissism, about the whole pride spectacle. And, you know, do people have the right to express their sexuality the way they see fit? To some degree, if consensual.
Yeah, only in the degrees that I agree, not if it's gay stuff.
The pride movement has torn down a lot of fences, and maybe some of those fences needed to go, but all of them didn't need to go. And there's plenty of monsters coming out to play now, and I would say that's especially true on the transgender affirming side, and that's why we're seeing this butchery in the medical community, abetted by idiot allies and driven by greed. Those aren't the worst monsters that exist. If you tear down enough fences, you're going to find out what they're for.
I really do wish you would just cut to the chase. You know what I mean? I wish you would just be like, trans people are groomers. I never thought that I would say these words, but it's like, bro, just say it. Like, just, you don't have to take the long way home, you know? Just be like, trans people are weird and they're groomers or something like that. Like, just cut it down. What is this word salad? Well, analytically speaking, the trans-affirming care are actually done in a complex scenario of butcheries. It's just like, yeah, dude, just say it's a slippery, yeah, exactly. It's a slippery slope, and also that they're fucking turning the kids gay. That's it. See, I did it. I did it in fucking 3 seconds. That's the point he's trying to make.
Now, I read recently, like this week, that support for gay marriage is plummeting.
Where did you read that? That is not a real thing. What the fuck's he talking about? What is he saying? Where is it plummeting, bro? What? Israel. Let's see. Support gay marriage plummeting. Oh, this is it dipped in 2023. It dipped to 71%. Gay rights are over, dog. Guys, it's done. I mean, it wouldn't even matter if it actually did plummet, for the record, like if it actually went down to like 50%, because ultimately that doesn't mean it's correct to be homophobic or transphobic. Like, there are plenty of positions that I assume that I advocate for that are not exactly super popular, right? I do it because it's right, not because it's fucking popular. But having said that, on this issue, it is like historically fucking high, man. Share of young adults who supported same-sex marriage declined to 71% last year. Yeah, it went from 69% the year before to 67%. Why would support be the same when we have legalized it? For the record, yeah, it went up dramatically post-legalization, and it's just like stably been around 60 to 70%. Which is as close to like damn near every single person as you're gonna get. You know what I mean? Remember, you can always find 20% of Americans that will say, I agree with any unimaginably insane thing. 20 to 30% of Americans will always, no matter what, believe in the most unhinged shit. That is the Hasanabi standard, as you guys know. 30% of Americans will always agree. It can be literally the dumbest thing on the planet.
Keep pushing. keep pushing, you're going to lose everything you've gained. And I'm not celebrating that at all. That's not the point at all. But
oh, he's not. Yeah, it might seem like he's celebrating that, but he's not celebrating that at all, okay? It looks like he's celebrating that, but actually he's not. Please, I promise you he's not. He definitely hates that homophobia is on the rise, which, by the way, by his own metrics is not by a lot, for the record. It's just like people are 3% less supportive.
Like, I'm just done with it. I don't like the flag. I think it's a piece of idiocy.
Okay, to be fair, I agree with the rainbow color shit. I do think personally the rainbow one is like, it's just not, it's not aesthetically pleasing. It's not. It's all the colors. Pick a better grouping of colors. It's just ugly. It's so ugly. It's like you put it on merch, it's like, ugh. Like at least trans pride has like a decent grouping of colors. Bisexual pride has like a decent grouping of colors. Wait, are you being serious? Oh, dude, you've never heard me say this? I've talked about this quite a bit. I think that the rainbow is just like so ugly. This has nothing to do with like gay rights at all, by the way. It's just simply that when you put all the colors together, it just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't look that good. Yeah, thinking the rainbow is tacky is the gayest thing you can say, and therefore strengthens your allyship. Oh no, for sure. It's fully gay of me to be like, it's tacky, because it is. This one slaps. Isn't the point of the pride flag supposed to represent every color under the rainbow? Yeah, no, it is. I'm just saying that like the color palette featuring every color is so tacky. I mean, there's not really much you can do about it. It is what it is. Who cares?
I don't like the acronym and all the mystery surrounding it. I don't like the fact that the LGBT agenda, whatever that is, increasingly dominates the school system. I don't like the fact that it's targeted at young people.
Remember, never forget, all matter of conservative grievances are just something that I made up in my mind and it scared me. I had a scary thought and now it's your problem. He's not even hiding it. He just literally is like, I don't even know what it is. I don't know what's going on, but it scares me and now it's your problem. I'm gonna make it your issue, okay? When you think about it from that point of view, you're like, why are we even having an argument about this? Like, what? So you're saying you got scared? Okay, like a child? He doesn't like the history surrounding it? Is it not wanting gay people to be killed for being gay? I mean, I think that is true. He probably wants the return to whatever he thinks is tradition, which includes like, you know, lynching gay people and stuff. But I think he just, at this stage, he doesn't even know what's going on, but it's very fearful. It's like, oh, okay. I guess we gotta deal with this now. I guess this is our thing now. Sorry. Old man imagined a scary future.
And I think the surgery, the gender-affirming care movement, I think it is Nazi Auschwitz level awful.
Ironic, because the Nazis also were very, very anti-trans and very anti-gay, just like Jordan Peterson is. I'm imagining a pastor with the Nazis be like, this is just like Nazi behavior. We must stop this. The trans medical research is like Nazis. They're just like the Nazis.
And now, as they've decided to do in the UK and in most places in Europe, but I think all the people that were involved in the surgical transition of minors should be imprisoned. So there's a lot of house cleaning to do on the pride side of things. And I don't believe that the celebration of an identity that encapsulates something like 3% of the population before it became a fad.
Even transgenders back then, Chatter, you consistently have some of the funniest questions, which is why I haven't banned you. Yes. Yeah, of course there were transgenders back then, dude. What the fuck? It's not like an invention. Bro, you really think we invented trans people in like 2013 or something? Like, what do you think? That's so funny. In the year 2013, trans people were invented and nothing has been the same. Yeah, new gender expansion pack. God knows what will happen by 2025.
Enough, as far as I'm concerned. Enough pride in the churches, enough pride in the bloody banks. I don't want to walk into the Bank of Nova Scotia and be celebrating pride. It's like I want to go and put my money in or take my money out without any political idiocy.
I do want to clarify that, like, just because I think the rainbow color scheme is tacky doesn't mean that I have a fucking aneurysm when I see it. This guy's so stupid. He's like, we have to defend Western civilization, and I will be the strongest warrior. Also, I had a heart attack when I saw a rainbow-colored Nova Scotia Bank logo. These two things don't work side by side, man. You can't be defending Western civilization that's falling while simultaneously be like, I almost died. Oh, God, I love conservatives so much. They're so fucking stupid. That level of drama is, by the way, the equivalent of sucking at least one dick gay, okay? I saw something that I didn't like and I almost died. You understand me? I died. Hello? He's so dramatic. I was murdered.
Without any celebration of sexuality. I don't know what the hell the banks think they're doing. And the churches, well, that's just... For the churches to be flying pride flags, it's like pride is the cardinal Christian sin. Right, so what the hell? What's going on with the flags exactly? What exactly are you celebrating? Tolerance. It's like, yeah, tolerance of vice is not a virtue, and pride is a vice.
There is no greater testament to like Western supremacist attitudes than thinking that what he's doing right here is any different than any number of like LARPing Salafist UK Muslim podcasts talking about fellas, women, pride. What the fuck is pride? Yeah, wallahi, bro. He has the garb on, so you just analyze it fundamentally differently. You know, you just look at it very differently than like something that you would see on memory TV. You know, he's speaking English and he's wearing a ugly ass suit, but a suit nonetheless. And therefore, this is actually riveting discourse and totally different than like some fucking weirdo fundy. He's white and Christian. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why people don't read it in the same way. If you dislike the pride flag, why do you hate only the people brave enough to change its design? True. In solidarity with the hostages held in Gaza by Hamas, Tel Aviv displays pride flags with white and yellow stripes. This is so funny because, like, so what is it? Are all the hostages gay? Is that a new sexuality? It's like LGBTQ and hostage? Like, why would you do this? Why did you think that this was fucking... It's so stupid. Why yellow? Because yellow is the stand with us color, the color of the ribbons that they wear that is supposed to invoke the hostage.
ABC 15 exclusive. The guy taken off the flight at Sky Harbor says he was the victim of a prank bomb threat against that plane.
I just can't help but feel really bad for all those people.
Paul Danino, otherwise known to his chat as Ice Poseidon, spent years garnering a reputation of being swatted by his own fan base. Day after day, publicizing every avenue of his personal life, cultivating a community of bad actors whose behavior at times bordered on criminal. To his credit, letting his viewers call the shots not only proved itself wildly entertaining, but wound up being especially profitable too. At the end of the day, it's only content, right? Well, I want to know how we got from here to Paul scamming his fans out of $500,000. Something we've all done. Join me as we analyze the chaotic but inevitable downfall of a streaming icon. This is the story of Ice Poseidon.
Okay, all I want to do is just stream. It's not worth it because nobody understands. It makes my job so much more difficult.
But first, today's sponsor, who happens to not be a fraudulent crypto scheme, Bespoke Post. Bespoke is a monthly membership club that delivers awesome boxes of top-shelf goods from under-the-radar brands. Take, for example, the Terra box, made by Barebones, which is stationed in Salt Lake City. With 90% of their products coming straight from small businesses, every box comes with around $70 in retail value at the cost of just $49. You'll get to preview everything in your box before it even ships, which means you can either keep it, swap it for a different box, or skip that month entirely. So although it's a subscription service, you only pay for what you want. This month I chose Over Easy, which is great because now I have no excuse not to cook in the mornings. Equipped with the most durable cast iron skillet from Old Mountain, a leather holder from Softline, and even a Bloody Mary mix from Sucker Punch Gourmet, which all go great with the platter I got from their plated box. In addition to the custom crafted serving platter, the plated box comes with a rugged salt dispenser and a minimalist kitchen towel, so you'll be ready to host your next holiday dinner. Get 20% off your first box by clicking the link down below and using Jawbreak20 at checkout. Massive thanks again to Bespoke Post for helping out with this video.
Cryptocurrency and scams. Today, a once massive streamer was exposed for stealing $500,000 from his fans.
I'll be honest, in my opinion, Ice Poseidon is not a good person.
So, what kind of kid were you? Or what did you do before this whole streaming? What led up to this?
Paul Danino was born in Palm Beach, Florida on September 29th, 1994. His father, a plasma technician, and his mother, a mental health administrator, who went on to describe her son in 2018 as a shy kid who acted out to make friends, which may have only isolated him even further. Growing up in the gated community of Martin County, Paul was a self-described
weird motherfucker growing up.
After finishing up high school and getting a 2 years associate's degree, Paul went on to work as both a kitchen manager and a line cook for several years.
Streaming is definitely not worse than being a line cook, but it's definitely more stressful.
So when somebody throws up a plate that's part of like a 4-plate order, and then you're wondering where like some big piece of meat is, it takes 10 minutes to cook, and you find out that the guy running grill didn't put it on, and the entire order is going to be for that plate is going to be, and you got to decide what you want to put in the window and what you want to the window people about, because you know they're going to give you shit. And when you're trying to run every other ticket coming in to make sure that you don't fall behind, like all of this is less stressful than playing video games and talking to a stream chat.
It's more, all right, how do I put this?
But despite everything, he just wasn't happy.
Really boring, I didn't do anything. I just went home after like
It was safe to say he wasn't where he wanted to be. Burnt out in every other aspect, Paul found escapism in online video games. Most particularly in the fantasy roleplay of RuneScape, which he had been a fan of since 12. It's where the character Ice Poseidon was born, and it's also where much of Paul's social life was relegated. As outlined in the New Yorker, Ice Poseidon could do things online for attention without suffering real-world consequences. An assessment I'd say has aged like fine wine. But we're not there. By 2015, Paul would upload old-school RuneScape content to a small audience on YouTube and quickly set his sights on a budding live stream platform that had just launched back in 2009. He didn't know it at the time, but in just a few short years, Paul would become one of the most influential entertainers on all of Twitch, garnering hundreds of thousands of supporters before being kicked off. But again, we aren't anywhere near that yet. We still have a lot of ground to cover before we get into the fun stuff. In 2015, Paul was fresh out of a job, had just finished school, and needed something to occupy his free time. Devoting hours to building a following on Twitch, it wasn't long before people started paying attention, and thus the Purple Army was born.
That whole story just sounded ridiculous. His gang of hoodlums that say the whites into the Purple Army, dude.
Who knew the exact crowd responsible for Paul's generous income would also be the ones to destroy him in the end? See, Paul didn't treat his fans the same way other streamers did. He made them an active part of the streams themselves, calling them on the phone, letting them pick music, even allowing their company in games of RuneScape. They weren't treated like fans so much as they were personal friends, which made sense considering, by his own admission, Paul didn't have much of a life outside the internet at this time.
With you guys being the only people that I actually talk to, when half of those people do nothing but to try to piss you off, you know, over the course of a few months, it just starts to sink in. The streams are good, I think, for most of the time, but when I have one bad stream, I feel such a right now, man.
From the jump, it was clear how much these streams meant to him. Streaming was more than just a pastime. I mean, at this point, it was more than just a job. It was his entire life. And living a life strictly online certainly came with downsides.
You just don't talk to anybody. so long just gets to you. And I know I should like not sleep for so long and I could go out and do I just don't know how to go out and meet people, man, without having like I don't, like usually you meet people at like a job or like school or something. I don't know how to, there's no way for me to do that. There's no job. No school.
So you have to imagine how Paul must have felt when he finally had an excuse to get out of the house. When he could combine his love of streaming with the outside world he so desperately wanted to be a part of. For Paul, everything changed with the release of
Pokemon Go to the polls.
Inarguably the biggest and most profitable mobile game of that summer, Pokemon Go was downloaded a whopping 500 million times worldwide by the end of 2016, giving socially depraved shut-ins across the globe a chance to combine their hobby of gaming with literally touching grass. Armed with nothing more than a backpack and a camera strapped to his head, Ice Poseidon began streaming himself playing the game in real life. The hype of going around catching Pokemon in public spaces, combined with Paul's naturally outlandish demeanor, made way for some pretty memorable interactions.
What's up, guys? I'm good. How you doing? Looking for Pokemon. You happen to have any? 1378 for a Charizard? Man, I'm thinking more like 69.
Are you recording us?
No, it's not. It's just a fashion statement. All right, yeah, I'm recording. Yeah, we got a bunch of people watching. Yeah. When you tape the phone to the shirt, then, girls want to have sex with you more.
No, not really.
See, Ice had finally found himself a golden goose. He had been successful with RuneScape, of course, but now clashing his streaming talents with a physical activity gave him the chance to make money and content, all while improving his own social skills. And the Purple Army ate it the up. Whether awkward, funny, or sexual, Ice's IRL Pokemon Go streams were received incredibly well by his audience. In 2022, IRL streaming is basically just another genre, but 6 years ago, it was a different story. Nobody had done it like this, at least not as well as Ice, regularly pulling 20,000 viewers per stream. With more subscribers, Ice began racking up more notoriety, his mother even noting her shock when kids recognized her son at Halloween that year. It just completely blew us away, she noted. They all knew what Ice Poseidon was, and they stopped dead in their tracks. Ice became such a favorite creator, in fact, that he may have had something to do with the launch of a new category on Twitch that December, the IRL section, giving creators the chance to stream themselves out and about without the need for video games.
Hello. How are you, sir? Are you the drug man? You look like the guy who has the drugs. Sitting there on the tree with the jacket. Alrighty. Goodbye. I love you. What? I love you. Good. I love you too. You got some lighter downstairs? No, we're not smoking in the color.
Basically, just made a living out of going around in public, annoying people.
Yo, what are you doing, bro?
Yo, dude, what the are you doing, dog?
Wherever Ice went, chaos was soon to follow.
Any kind of report of an emergency, you seem to be around with your camera. All right? Just put your feet.
Gee, I wonder why.
I think it's clear Ice was never known for his responsibility.
Stop driving like an idiot. You may think it's entertaining. How do you know passengers are...
You almost ran over a bicyclist. Yes, you did. I saw him. You almost ran over a bicyclist. I did not. Literally as he came out. My deposits.
Maturity, yeah, that's the word. He's never known for his maturity.
Nothing like a little steak and shake. I don't even want to know what I just did.
But that's just who he was. Tactless, carefree at times, and obnoxious at others, which certainly generated the peculiar type of following. In fact, his core audience has been blasted as toxic for as long as Ice has been around. Calling and harassing a woman en masse after Paul leaked her number on stream, accidentally, I think. On the very same day as the IRL category's launch, he was issued a 45-day ban from the platform he dominated. his third at that time. But Ice Poseidon was hardly deterred, making the call over his extended vacation to make the move from Florida out to Los Angeles, where he aimed to connect and collaborate with other popular creators. It was clear that even in the face of setbacks, Paul was determined to continue paving the way of an entire subgenre. He wanted to make a difference, and it's hard to deny he did. Embracing a controversial open door policy in his new apartment only led to even more chaos once the ban was over.
But I got a stream that I have to finish here, so. I have a stream that I'm gonna finish here, so. Dude, don't point that at me, I'm serious. Okay, but
Paul openly encouraged his fans to visit him in person during streams, if they so happen to be in the area. Why not drop by and make some content? As dangerous a prospect as that may sound, this just proved Ice's total commitment to not only developing a personal connection with his fans, but his quest to make the most wild, provocative streams imaginable. A few bands weren't about to make him change the way he did anything. He wanted absolute transparency at all costs, a strength in the eyes of his community, but a major lapse in his judgment as time went on to show, putting himself in a vulnerable position he wouldn't seriously regret, at least until 2017.
if I'm showing work like I am on live stream, then it's completely fine to swat a plane. You're delusional.
The police were nice, yeah. They were great. They were nice. They pulled me out of the plane.
More than 150 passengers were on board after Danino and his companion were removed. The plane did eventually get to the gate, and the other passengers went on their way.
On April 28th, 2017, Ice Poseidon made the mistake of exposing his location to a toxic audience at probably the most inconvenient time ever, as he was boarding a fucking airplane. Sure enough, a bomb threat was called in by someone from the chat claiming to be Paul, which put the entire airport on lockdown, while he and another woman were promptly pulled out of the aircraft by some not so amused officers.
They said he was acting strangely.
He was running around with a GoPro type thing and a big, large camera.
It was a little nerve-wracking, especially when you couldn't lift the shades back up and the plane was still rolling.
Like, he called in and said that I had a bomb on the plane. That's what he said. Like, he was pretending to be me.
Now remember, this was far from the first time Paul had been swatted, but it was the first time delaying an entire flight from taking off. The severity of this stunt was at a level never before seen by ICE's community. Halting an entire airplane and generating national headlines across the mainstream wasn't exactly the best PR for Twitch, and thus he was formally suspended shortly after, permanently.
Wait, why is ICE banned? Wait, why is ICE banned?
Are you sure?
Why is ICE banned?
Are you sure?
Why is ICE banned?
Sparking outrage across the live streaming community, many believed this was unjustified, including ICE himself, who went on the record claiming when you look at the terms of service, there were no rules saying that you shouldn't leak your location. Although ICE had never been swatted in public up until this moment, he probably should have known better than to say this.
53A is that's my gate. And I'm not. That was really stupid of me, to be fair.
What with ICE's community having a history of pushing him to his limits, it was only a matter of time before they took it too far. Moving forward, you think this might be a wake-up call for Paul to police his chat a little better, or be more diligent as to not release his location, and if people do find out where he is, maybe don't platform or give any attention to those who want to cause chaos. Unfortunately though, our man didn't seem to learn much after the airport incident. And I do have to agree with Sunny V2's assessment when he says,
well, what about after the SWAT happens? Does he just ignore it? No, he does the exact opposite. He puts the SWATers on a pedestal. Ice Poseidon gets swatted, 445,000 views. 5 videos later, swatted on a plane, my perspective. 357,000 views. But over the long run, do you think that posting videos about being swatted that you know have the potential to go semi-viral is going to encourage the swatters or deter them? It's going to encourage them.
Whether out of ignorance or otherwise, Paul made sure to put a spotlight on those who swatted him. When you give these things so much attention, even in a negative way, it sends a message to keep doing it. Probably why he was swatted every day for a month at the peak of his antics. Viewers are calling into local businesses with baseless accusations that he was carrying a bomb or had children locked in his basement became a reality that ICE had to live with. needing to notify the police of this kind of thing every time he moved, which was often. An existence I can't imagine was anything short of exhausting.
You have no idea how stressed I am, dude. I these security guards telling me like, oh yeah, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. You're doing this to yourself because they called the phone. They called the number of whoever called the casino, and my phone rang. Okay, whoever did it spoofed my number, and it showed up as my number who called. So I have some problems. I have so many problems and issues, dude. I just can't. I don't know, dude. It's legit. I don't know, man. It's so stressful, dude.
If you ask me, looking back on this man's career, one of Ice's greatest mistakes was his inability to keep his fan base in check, even when he made it clear he didn't want their behavior plaguing his reputation.
I want you guys to control my life. I mean, this is one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in live streaming.
His chat had a stranglehold on his life for years. Nearly every aspect of Paul's existence put under scrutiny by his fans, including his own relationship.
Like, bro, I just like the girl. And that's pretty much it, dude. And I know, and I was just afraid of telling everyone because I know about the storm that happened. You know what I mean? Everything was just getting better. Everything was doing just fine. And then it was like, I got back in touch with her and I was like, I can't tell anyone. This is going to be a storm all over again. I was scared.
Hated to death by the Purple Army, Ice's girlfriend Caroline was criticized for just about everything under the sun, smeared as a leech, clout chaser, gold digger, even cruelly dubbed alien for her plastic surgery. Viewers thought she was taking Ice away from his content, using his influence to further her own career as a streamer. In the end, despite any feelings Paul may have had, things fell apart for the couple. Paul being quoted with, "It just got too much, dude. It was just easier for me to break up with her than to deal with it."
Here's the thing, dude. I can never be in a relationship while I'm a streamer. It just doesn't work out. I just can't do it. I can't. It's just too stressful, and I can't balance it, and I just don't want to do it. It's just annoying, and I just don't care. But yeah, please don't talk about Caroline, guys. Like, I still care about her, but we just can't be together. That's essentially it.
I mean, streaming was his business, of which he made Caroline a part of for a little while. He saw a notable jump in earnings just a week after the couple broke up. Although he said the community didn't cause the breakup, I can't imagine it made their lives any easier, as it's hard to ignore the consequences of Paul's chat constantly memeing and making fun of his girlfriend in really just cruel ways. In the aforementioned New Yorker article, Paul can be heard saying, "You have to be inconsiderate and a little bit of a sociopath to stream. I have to turn on the stream tomorrow and not give a f about any of this, but I actually do give a f, and I'm actually annoyed and hurt and awkward by all of this." A telling window into his approach to content creation.
When I sent her that text message that we broke up in January, I cried for like 3 days, dude. I was so sad because I did not want to break up with her, but she really, like, you know what I mean? It was just detrimental to my streams.
Ice's career required putting his privacy in jeopardy, living a life in front of a Twitch chat in exchange for money and fame. Caroline may have been off stream, but that didn't stop fans from speculating whether or not she was actually out of Paul's life for real. And come to find out, she wasn't, which would only become apparent halfway through one of the biggest streaming ventures Ice would ever embark upon, a 14-person road trip across the East Coast.
This is a 14-day trip so far, so we'll see how this goes. We got 14 people, 14 days.
Being booted off Twitch wasn't about to get in the way of Ice making as much money as possible while doing the absolute most scuffed streams imaginable, moving his show to YouTube, where he would broadcast him and his closest friends traveling up the East Coast from California all the way to Washington in an RV. With the cast of kooky characters including Anything for Views, Dan Kwan, Scuffed Steve Jobs, and Or as one commentator put it, a collection of the worst people from all around the world stuffed into a small confined area for an extended period of time. And of course, thousands were there for it. I'm not here to get into every small bit of drama that unfolded throughout these streams because God knows we'd be here all day and I'd probably get age restricted for showing some of the footage. But if you want a taste, Ice can be seen at the end of the episode about to hook up with some swingers from Tinder. The cameraman is forced to the front of the RV to make awkward conversation with her husband before he finally goes to the back to watch Ice and his wife do whatever they're gonna do. Then Sam Pepper goes outside, drags a dumpster to the side of the RV so he can climb on top to look inside Ice's room and describe what's happening to the camera. All of which going down within 10 minutes of the second stream. What the is happening? It wasn't until a few weeks in that the real drama began between Ice and his fans themselves. When it was revealed through a girl named K-Bubbles that Caroline and Ice had never actually broken up and had actually been in an open relationship for months. This sparked yet another saga of fighting between Ice, Caroline, and K-Bubbles that all culminated with him revealing he had relations with both girls at the same time and that it wasn't a big deal.
This is what's going on. Caroline, this girl, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal.
On principle, Paul shouldn't owe his fans anything. As much as there should be a degree of separation, Ice never allowed one, and as a result, felt the consequence of his private matters unfold in a public setting. What I mean is that finding out that Caroline and Ice hadn't broken up led to more distrust between him and his fans. Of course, this never should have been his fans' business to begin with, but because it was, the transparency he had strived to build over the course of several years was slowly crumbling. His chat felt betrayed. They didn't like anything being hidden from plain view. A warped dynamic between creator and fan that ultimately goes to encapsulate Ice Poseidon's entire brand, for better or for worse.
Hi, my name is Paul Danino, otherwise known as Ice Poseidon on the internet. I'm making this video and my apology to Twitch in the hopes that somebody will listen.
After a couple of years of avoiding headlines, Ice Poseidon quietly fell back into a slower streaming schedule. After reflecting on the long-standing toxicity of his community, Ice showed a desire to change his content for the better. Uploading tamer videos and streams to YouTube, he even published an open letter to Twitch asking for a second chance on the platform. He believed that after years of streaming on Mixer and refining his community, his content and demeanor had changed enough that he should be let back onto the platform he had started on.
3 years ago, I was banned on Twitch for enabling a very toxic community. And the toxic community has affected the industry, myself, my friends, and other creators as a whole. My mindset now is completely different to what it was 3 years ago. And I found out after reforming my community and changing the actions that I do, I have found happiness again in streaming. Happiness that I haven't had in over 2 years. I've learned a lot in the past couple of years. I've been a streamer for almost 5 years now. And I'm pleased asking Twitch to just give me a second chance.
Well, compelling to some, Twitch never responded. But still, it was nice to see this new side of him. At the time, it seemed as if he had finally matured after all these years. But little did anyone know is that everything would change at precisely 11 a.m. on January 30th, 2022.
The famous live streamer Ice Poseidon just scammed his followers for up to $500,000, and I'm gonna prove it.
Earlier this year, YouTuber and crypto scam watchdog CoffeeZilla published a revealing video on Ice Poseidon and the questionable nature of his recent endeavors. Questionable nature might be a little too generous.
You want to keep the money that's not yours, that you took from the project, even though you failed to deliver.
I mean, I'm not really sure what you want me to say, but yeah, I could give the money back, but I'm gonna look out for myself and not do that.
In this day and age, it's hardly uncommon to find streamers and YouTubers taking advantage of their fans with transparent crypto pump and dump schemes. What with crypto still being so new, the government has yet to impose limitations on what you can and can't do to make a quick buck. A lack of sufficient regulation that's led to infamous rug pulls across the internet. The worst of which being YouTubers aiming such rug pulls at those who support them the most, their fans. Well, cue Ice Poseidon. After his ex-bestie Sam Pepper got busted by Coffee for masterminding the infamous Save the Kids scam, Ice was apparently there to take notes. Not on how not to scam his fans, or even how not to get caught. Instead of following Sam's blueprint almost to a T. It was hardly subtle about any of it. After going on the record promoting a long-term project he seemed to have a lot of faith in, CX Coin, named after his network of the same name, was of course revealed to be an absolute, utter, and complete scam. Don't take my word for it though, he basically states it better than I could.
It looks like the coin got rugged. You know anything about that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, not rugged, but I mean...
Well, someone pulled all the liquidity out. That's a rug, right?
That would be a rug, yes. But there is still liquidity in there.
40K got left and 300K got ripped out or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, that is exactly what happened.
Right. Are you laughing? I mean, is that funny?
I mean, no.
Before getting into the numbers, though, let's hear this guy out, okay? He says he didn't actually market this thing to any of his casual fans, only people in the crypto sphere, as he put it once he was found out. It doesn't matter who is affected, it still doesn't change what it is, right? I mean, am I going insane? But then again, Ice being a shady guy running scams on the internet really isn't anything new.
Ice Poseidon has a history of openly scamming people and being super honest with it. He even went on stream one time just fully admitting to a Ponzi scheme he was running.
In order for the investors to make their money back, what we do is we grow the company to a certain point, and then we have other investors come in, and obviously they invest their money as well, hopefully more than $2 million. And then obviously when we get more than $2 million invested, the other investors get their $2 million back. It's not a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme. Okay. I don't really know how to explain it, because I didn't explain that very well, I guess.
That is the textbook definition of a Ponzi scheme.
I know it may seem weird, but I used to be a kind of a bad person on the internet when I was younger, dude. I had this thing where it was a phishing site, and I fished credit cards. I didn't do anything with the credit cards, because I was like afraid of going to jail. Like there's a popcorn going on a hill. But we did it. We also, Gray, you remember what we used to do? I don't know if you want to say it. I won't. I mean, that was 10 years ago. I don't think we can get arrested anymore for that. But we never used. I never used the credit card, but yeah, I know how to get on the deep web, dude.
In a subsequent final statement made after Coffee's initial video, Ice Poseidon proceeded to double down on his decision to pull a portion of his hefty investment, being $300,000, because it was, quote, the right thing to do, out of fear of it being devalued, which of course doesn't make any sense as stated by Coffee.
When I asked Ice Poseidon where he was going to put the money that he took out of the crypto markets, he told me he's going to put it in the crypto markets.
Invest into crypto, Ethereum, mainly.
He had to take the money out of the crypto markets because that's a terrible investment. And the real place to put the money is in the crypto markets because that's where the big money's at.
And I mean, on top of all of that, admitting to removing the money in what can only be described as a textbook rug pull, Ice had the audacity to go on and say no one got scammed. He made $300,000, but not at the expense of his holders, which is literally just not how crypto works. If you're going to be taking money out of something, that value is going to be dropped down onto the people who are still holding. They lose, you win. Hundreds of thousands in this case, which he even admitted he could return if he so chose. It's just he needs to look after himself right now. Hope he enjoys that Tesla before he's riding in the back of a squad car.
At the moment, there's like a big gambling kick, so I'm like gambling and doing crypto stuff, so.
Are you figuring out
crypto and gambling the same thing?
I mean, yeah, they're similar. I invest in a lot of the like coins, right? Like a lot of the, like you put money in and then you sell in like 20 minutes when it pumps. There's no regulations behind it whatsoever. I have no idea if it's legal.
The reason why I'm not going to start a crypto coin is because someone's going to get. Because dude, if I see $1 million, I'm selling. I don't give a. I'm not gonna be like, I'll hold for you guys, bro. I see $1 million in my portfolio, I'm out.
The cautionary tale of Ice Poseidon is one with many ups and downs. Going from an introverted RuneScape streamer to one of the most iconic, recognizable IRL names across Twitch and YouTube, etching his name into the streaming history books and being respected by numerous high-profile personalities up until recent. I don't think Ice's story had to end this way. Had he just set up more boundaries with his fans and been more diligent about moderating the toxic sides of his chat, there's a big chance he could have even stayed on Twitch, not gotten swatted as much, and gone down as one of the greatest to ever do it. But that hasn't exactly been the case. Paul isn't that kind of person. His true colors have finally been unveiled. While his influence on Twitch and the larger streaming zeitgeist is hard to deny, Ice's already controversial reputation may have finally been put to rest by following in the shoes of notable shameless scammers to come before him. Saying he wants to change, then taking the low road and adding to his already ungodly, robust bank account in the most reprehensible way a person can. It didn't have to end like this, but because it has, I don't think Ice Poseidon should be remembered as anything else than a deceitful rat who will throw even his most ardent supporters under the bus if it means just a 1% uptick of his net worth.
This right now and you're thinking, Sam Pepper, we hate you. I know. I'm sorry. Today, I had a really shitty, boring day. And I thought, I don't just post pranks. I post videos that change your opinions on something, how you think about something.
He made this whole big video being like, this was all a social experiment, but it wasn't.
This guy has to be the gaslighting king.
What's up, guys? I'm Joey Salads, and this is a fake lottery ticket prank.
We're gonna go pretend to drug some girls. Don't ever try this.
Hey, guys, today we're gonna see how parents react when we flash their kids.
YouTubers are insane. Over the countless years I've spent withering away on this cursed platform, I've been shocked at the lengths influencers take in pursuit of fickle stardom and sweet internet clout points. Whether it's as stupid as pretending to abuse your children in an epic prank on your wife, or as seriously grim as gorging yourself in front of an audience that's collectively rooting for your emotional and physical dismay. Yay!
Oh my god, I just pooped.
Some choose to pimp out their children in exchange for brand deals and ad sales, while others resort to sitting in front of a moving train to generate an appropriate amount of clickbait for them to buy a Bugatti. The potential for so much success on a platform like YouTube opens the door for some wild characters to gain notoriety, encouraging already provocative personalities to push the envelope even further with each new upload. Leading many to wonder, how far is too far? How far will influencers go for money and fame before those burning desires eat them alive? To me, that's a question YouTube pioneer Sam Pepper may have answered the hard way.
I also want to address some of the horrified reactions from my supporters, my followers, and also members of the public in relation to my first video.
Hey guys, it's Tori from Rock Forever Magazine, and I'm here today with the one and only Sam Pepper.
Me.
How are you doing?
I'm okay, how are you?
I am very good. You know what's funny? I'm used to hearing your name like Sam Pepper, so like saying Pepper sounds very weird saying it out loud.
Samuel Pepper was born in Kent, England on March 26, 1989, in the beautiful town of Ashford, according to the website biographymask.com, which sounds like an extremely reputable source to me. According to numerous sites, Sam grew up invested in the world of art, as he expressed himself frequently with graffiti and hopes to become an artist full-time one day. Despite working several jobs abroad as a hotel entertainer and tent dismantler. Why, this gotta be a fake fucking job. Sam was always quite fond of the limelight and was finally tapped to join the UK's Big Brother for their 11th season in 2010. And if you don't know how Big Brother works, join the club. I've never seen an episode of my life. But from what I've read, at least about the UK iteration, the housemates take turns completing tasks for money and are slowly evicted each week. I'm paraphrasing, but I really can't express how little I care about the inner workings of this show. If it's not F-Boy Island, I'm not interested. Sam, however, is described by the Big Brother wiki as being a gutsy 21-year-old artist dissatisfied with binge drinking culture, being easily irritated by people who are over the top, like really camp gay guys, which seems like a weird tidbit to throw in there. As mentioned, though, he seems to have a disdain for attention seekers who get wound up super easily, aka himself, I guess. I mean, I don't know if it was different back then, but in hindsight, Sam Pepper at least strikes me as one of the most pathetic attention seekers in YouTube history.
Hey guys, today I'm with Frankie. Have you ever seen these jelly ball things? We are going to go and build the most ultimate ball in a Costco. Yeah, we're going to try and spend all night in a zoo.
Going so far as to ruin his entire reputation on his boundless quest for popularity, even having the gall to ask for $1 million to delete his account for good. There's still a lot of ground for us to cover before we get to any of that. Basically, Sam remained a cast member on Big Brother until his big eviction from the house on day 72. But I guess the rest of the housemates had enough of his antics and got tired of bullying him every second of the day. It's actually very funny to watch the entire cast lampoon him throughout the entire series. Shut up, Sam!
Well, do what you're supposed to do then.
Probably the only entertaining part of the show. But even with Sam out of the house and denied the mainstream spotlight, he just couldn't stay away from the cameras for long. After getting a taste of that ever so sweet celebrity status from Big Brother, Sam Pepper quickly set out to expand his name beyond television and create a legacy that would not soon be forgotten, prepared to do whatever it took to get there.
My full-time job is my YouTube channel, so it's pretty epic because I get to make what I love making and people like enjoy watching me. It's kind of weird, but they enjoy watching what I make. We're asking people what's the most crazy sexual experience you've ever had.
Sam began his YouTube journey on September 8th, 2010, with his first video entitled, I have no clue, actually. His oldest videos have now been completely wiped from the internet. See, a fun little thing about Sam is that he's not only nuked his entire channel after a scandal that almost ruined his life, he's actually done it twice. Always the mark of a harmless man with nothing to hide, but according to his Draw My Life from 2013, the same video where he talks about keeping dead frogs in jars as a child, he mentions his move from Kent up to London to really hone in on a career producing videos. As he made more connections within the British YouTube scene, Sam was eventually invited out to LA by fellow creator Sawyer Hartman, who offered Sam a place to stay within about 15 minutes of meeting. Whatever the reason was, bigger creators saw clear potential in Sam from the time he had about 20k subs. And before long, he was off to the races. Doing what, you may ask? Well, let me show you.
I started Raycon with one goal, and that was to shake up the wireless audio industry to its very core.
Oh, wait, no, that's actually singer-songwriter Ray J, the co-founder of today's sponsor, Raycon. You know the drill. Raycon offers sleek, quality earbuds that come equipped with 8 hours of playtime, easy pairing Bluetooth, and a whopping 32-hour battery life for those long 32-hour sets at the gym. Perfect for exercise, taking a walk, editing videos about irrelevant YouTube pranksters, really any situation you can think of. And with its built-in microphone, you can take calls with the simple press of one button, sounding just as good as any other premium wireless brand, but starting at half the price. I personally recommend the new Everyday earbuds if you want an improved rubber look and feel with its optimized gel tips, making for the perfect fit. Not to mention its 45-day happiness guarantee, which makes for easy returns if they just aren't for you. So if you want a quick and easy way way to help out the channel, head over to buyraycon.com/Jobry to get 15% off your order today. Link in the description box below. Massive thanks again to Ray J personally for helping out with these videos. Without him, I'd have to resort to pranking strangers on the side of the street, just like our good pal.
Hello guys, today I'm joined with Dennis Rhodey. Today I'm going to be doing a bit of a different prank. This is the postman prank, and let's go!
Sam really started making moves on YouTube around 2012 to 2013, with his earliest pranks consisting of just about anything that would get him views. What I mean by that is Sam was smart and realized that in order to stand out in a genre that was becoming increasingly oversaturated with sensationalized, often fake stunts, he needed to get pretty creative with video ideas. So his content ranged from interviewing the homeless to asking people about their craziest sexual experiences.
I have sex with the devil every day because he's my husband, and that's not really crazy because I'm in love with him.
He was the king of clickbait at the time. He knew what people wanted to see, and he wasn't afraid to capitalize on it, eventually reaching a peak of 2.4 million subscribers and over 1 million followers on Twitter, which was especially huge back then. Sure, he may be considered a no-name to anyone who joined the internet after 2016, but it really is important to emphasize just how prevalent this guy was before shooting his entire career in the foot years later. As obnoxious as his pranks were, it was hard to avoid him and his irritating henchmen. Announcing a tour with fellow creator Mazzy, I don't care, in September of 2013, as Sam was nearing the top of his game.
We've bought like giant inflatable balls that are like hamster balls, and we've bought like a straight jacket, confetti cannons,
big giant inflatable penises.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, peak early 2010s random XD humor right there. Also, totally unrelated, but this guy makes drill music now.
Shall we make out right now?
Do it! Do it! Do it! No! Why?
How old are you?
Close.
Why don't you kiss on the...
Oh, do it! Do it! Oh, do it! Oh.
Okay. Oh.
She's that
our kids watching.
Yeah, it's insanely uncomfortable to watch this.
Are you ready?
I refuse to.
All right, so we're gonna go to the first tweet today that says, on my laptop naked, what you gonna do about it? Explain yourself.
I was on my laptop naked, and that was an indirect at you. So what are you going to do about it is the question.
About you being on your laptop naked?
Wherever Sam Pepper went, controversy was soon to follow, as a big part of his brand was just that. He knew how unlikable he was, he just didn't care, and actually leaned into it in order to make as much money as possible. A tactic he's employed all the way through 2021, arguably. But what exactly do I mean by that?
I don't like that. In the past, he's physically restrained women with rope, lassos, almost got himself beat up over it, handcuffed himself to girls and told them he won't let them go until they make out with him. You like unattach us?
Yeah. Or a kiss.
No, can you get away from me? And he's forced his mouth on uncomfortable looking beachgoers who are clearly confused about what the hell is going on.
We are looking for the best kisser on Venice Beach.
Ow.
So you can kiss me on You can kiss me on the cheek. I'll touch it.
No.
Oh, come on. Hello guys, today I'm going to be pinching gals' bums with my secret.
Sam had never made mainstream headlines until a very peculiar prank in 2014. The fake hand-ass grabbing prank, to be exact.
Are you pushing my butt?
I would not do that, come on.
So, I mean, this is just insane in retrospect. In September of that year, Sam Pepper uploaded what could have easily been considered his most controversial prank of that time. Now, of course, we'll get into his other stuff in a second, but this one is what really stirred the pot before anything else. The video depicts Sam wandering aimlessly around the streets of LA, approaching seemingly unsuspecting women and groping them behind their backs. To this day, it blows my mind YouTube would even allow something like this to stay up as long as it did. But as you would expect, the backlash was was as swift as ever. And for good reason, as many of the biggest names at the time pulled no punches in their criticism of the depicted assault, or social experiment, as he would go on to call it. Truth be told, this was just one of the 3 videos he uploaded on the subject, with the second in the series being the exact same concept, only with the roles reversed. Sam then took to the internet to once again justify these uploads as not only being staged and scripted, but actually a clever social experiment to highlight society's bias when it comes to sexual assault. He claimed that not enough people were as outraged over the video of men being assaulted as the video of women, and that was the point. That was the plan from the start, according to him.
I chose to use sexual harassment as the focal point of the experiment. That way, I could pass it off as a prank, pretend it's harmless, and watch all you guys go crazy in the comments. And I'm so glad you did.
But if you ask me, the rushed second video and unprepared justification feels more like crude damage control than an actual smartly planned out experiment. Like he was scrambling to save face immediately after the backlash by shoehorning some kind of grandiose social commentary that ended up falling flat regardless of what his initial goal may have been.
Women are sexually assaulted every day in millions of seemingly small ways, which other people don't see as bad. And yet they affect the woman on the end of them.
Most people weren't buying this defense, no matter how he tried to manipulate it.
He also tried to claim that he had consent from the women in the videos. What he may be referring to is getting his consent form signed after he's done it to use the footage. When some of these women were actually asked if there was consent, their answers suggested no.
Even being personally barred from entering VidCon by the event's founder, Hank Green. It's safe to say this little stunt earned Sam Pepper a new reputation, one that would experience even more damage in the days to come.
Thanks very much for watching that, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go down there and click the like button. Subscribe because I upload videos every single week, and I will catch you next week.
So then I wrote an open letter to Sam, asking him with respect and civility to please stop making videos like this. In less than 24 hours, over 100,000 of you signed the letter. That included many YouTube heavyweights like Hank and John Green, Hannah Hart, Grayson Mamrie, Tyler Oakley, Wheezy Waiter, Dan at NerdCube, Strawberry 17, Kat Rivik, just tons of people.
Although Sam defended the aforementioned prank as a scripted social experiment meant to highlight hypocrisy, you know, like the selfless prophet he is, this didn't stop a barrage of very serious allegations to follow suit, with a shocking amount of women coming forward to accuse the former reality star of sexual harassment right on the heels of this whole fiasco. Beginning when a user by the name of Dottie Martin published a now-deleted YouTube video titled A Cautionary Tale, in which she describes an alleged date with Sam 2 years prior, where he made her feel uncomfortable in a movie theater, with amongst the most concerning details being the reported age gap between the two. It would have meant Sam was going out with a 16-year-old in his early 20s. Even with the age of consent being 16 in the UK, that to me is kind of weird. Of course, Sam and his attorneys have vehemently denied any and all allegations of sexual misconduct. I still believe these are important details to provide when discussing his legacy or lack thereof as a controversial online figure. I'm not saying any of this to make him out to be guilty or innocent. I just think the allegations themselves are worth presenting when discussing how and why his channel collapsed.
I started to get letters from young women who were allegedly groped and harassed at music festivals, conferences, meetups. There were tons of stories. Another young woman, a fellow YouTuber, told me of a time that he invited her to crash at his place and then threatened to take her out on the street if she wouldn't get sexual with him. One of the girls we've been exchanging over Skype, and hearing her voice shake and hearing these stories is just so deeply upsetting to me, and I knew that I could not let this go. I could not let it be swept under the rug. I knew that if I didn't say something, then who knows what would have happened.
The bottom line is it was thanks to allegations like these that ended up costing our friend his reputation, with another 19-year-old coming forward with her own screenshots and testimony that Sam had solicited nudes from her when she was just 15. Alleging the two met at the signing for the Irish X Factor in 2011, Pepper would have been about 22 at the time the alleged messages were sent. According to an interview, the girl claims she knew he was much older than her, but at the time it didn't matter since she was a huge fan. As she went on to detail, I had pictures of Sam on my wall in my room. He just asked me to send pictures of me naked and stuff and go on Skype, and I did because I was a child and thought he would meet me. He was taking advantage of the the fact he knew I and many other girls would fangirl over him, which, as outlined by BuzzFeed, the emails seen in the screenshots did seem to correspond with the same address as the one he once tweeted fans back in 2010, with the Skype profile still reportedly being active at the time this article was published in 2014. This was then followed up by several other women coming forward with their own testimonies written out on Tumblr, detailed in YouTube videos, and even in a police report as stated by the BBC. The anonymous 18-year-old had described her entire experience the night the alleged encounter took place after a party. The two were said to have been acquainted through mutual friends, and although I won't recite the entire testimony here, I will say the graphic details make it a pretty difficult read. The main point I'm making here is there were a lot, and I mean a lot, of women who came forward with similar testimonies, which just goes to show why his online empire came crashing down. His fake hand prank marked the beginning of the end, not just because of the obvious public backlash from such a brain-dead and insensitive concept, but the absolute storm of allegations that berated Sam for the remainder of that year. It goes without saying the serious nature of these allegations, combined with his shady history of pranking, which included lassoing and handcuffing girls, may I add, you're beautiful, portrayed Sam in the most negative light imaginable. A lot of people didn't have much trouble believing these women thanks to the backlog of risque content and inappropriate behavior Sam had already shown us through his videos, leaving our men in a very tricky position.
Recording? Yeah. How's it going, guys?
Sure, by this point he may have burned bridges with every respectable YouTuber he once associated with and was now barred from entering just about every online convention imaginable, but that didn't mean he disappeared, even though I wish he did. Similar to a cockroach, Sam never fully goes away. Ever. Instead, he accepts the nature of the situation, adapts to new circumstances, and somehow finds a way to reverse engineer the negative press to benefit himself. This is an unfortunate trend with Sam, as he soon learned that all he needed to do in order to gain views, money, and notoriety is just to be as reprehensible and outrageous as possible. A strategy that was fully realized about a year later, with perhaps his most grandiose prank of all time. Allow me to set the stage. This is Sam Goldback, a 25-year-old influencer and former Viner who gained notoriety online with a joint account he shared with his best friend Colby Brock. The two made content together and eventually fell into the same circle as Sam Pepper, I guess. As Pepper has always had his finger in just about every pie, it was never uncommon to see him collaborating with a variety of figures across multiple communities. But in November of 2015, Pepper would presumably recruit Brock to help him play a prank on Goldback. Not just any prank, though. No, absolutely not. This would be one for the ages. One to still be talking about years in the future, as I'm doing right now. Sam Pepper was going to kidnap Goldback and pretend to kill his best friend Brock right in front of him, getting the reaction all on camera for millions to see. So Goldback was thrown into the back of a car in the dead of night and escorted up to a rooftop where he would witness what he believed to be his best friend's last moments on Earth. Only, much like other pranks on Sam's channel, this was completely staged. Both of these guys were in on it and even helped Sam come up with the idea.
Very viral, but very fake as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just so like I can get that out there. Like, a lot of people still think it's real.
Well, you're here, so we know you're not dead.
Right.
Exactly. And I don't hate him either.
Good.
At the time, you thought he was dead. No, that's the thing. Is because on Sam's channel, like he just came to us and wanted to get a viral stunt. I'm like, okay, cool, we'll help you out with this viral stunt. So we actually all three came up with the idea together before we even filmed it. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll watch my best friend die. That's cool. Let's go.
But this wasn't confirmed by them until 2018, about 3 years after the entire shitstorm went down. As you can imagine, in 2015, it wasn't pretty.
Kobe is in on the prank, and Sam is getting pranked.
Let's see how he reacts to his best friend of 5 years being killed in front of him.
With so many people actually under the impression Sam had pranked this guy into watching his best friend get assassinated, along with Golbak's eerily convincing performance, reactions were about as visceral as you would imagine. Within days of the video going live, it had already accumulated over 4 million views and garnered attention from multiple mainstream media outlets, with a Change.org petition cropping up and being signed by over 100,000 people to get Sam's channel deactivated by YouTube, claiming the video had broken YouTube's guidelines and needed to be removed at once. But in a rare instance of YouTube actually siding with their creators, unfortunately it had to be this guy, the site refused to take any action. My guess is that maybe Sam alerted somebody at the top that it was completely fake, or YouTube just wanted to keep it up for the sake of generating traffic. I have no idea, honestly. But this didn't stop the hacking group Anonymous from joining the party, threatening Sam on social media if he refused to remove the video. It's worth noting again that although Brock and Golbak exhibited public support for Sam during this time, they never once disclosed Golbak had been in on anything. So the strong reactions at the time were pretty justified in that sense. People were convinced he traumatized this kid for the sake of YouTube views. But even if Golbak's true emotions were never played with, you could argue those of his fans were, as the unsettlingly grave nature and presentation of this video still makes it a difficult watch to this day. I will say, I don't think I agree with him trying to shoehorn this message of living life to the full, not taking life for granted and loving it because it's short. I mean, we all know that wasn't the fucking point of this. Nobody needed to see a guy pretend to get his brains blown out to understand the importance of living. It felt more like they were taking advantage of people's emotions for a quick cash grab. I mean, hell, Sam tried to milk his critics of $1.5 million to delete his channel. He knew exactly what he was doing, with the GoFundMe including a variety of fun rewards like pay $7,500 to kick Sam in the nuts, or $25,000 to press the delete button on Sam's channel. Just hilarious stuff all around. Anyone willing to give Sam so much as a single dime probably deserves to have their nuts kicked in. As pointed out by Daily Dot contributor Gavia Baker Whitelaw, the campaign didn't last long, but it was still smart of Sam to go with GoFundMe rather than Kickstarter, since he still got to keep any and all donations before having it taken down. Just another shameless instance of Sam capitalizing on such a universally hated persona. Following this minor little publicity stunt, Sam uploaded again in February 2016 with a simple post titled, "I'm sorry," which, if I'm not mistaken, are 2 words he never actually utters in sequential anywhere in the video. Instead, this 20-minute sob story more or less serves as an outlet for Sam to clear his thoughts, update his fans or haters on the state of his channel. Just a few days prior, he had privated the entirety of his public videos and wiped his Twitter account, leaving up a singular tweet reading, "I give up." He essentially invalidates those who had criticized him, as he understood the person he had been showing online was a pretty unlikable one. But he also tries to say this isn't him, once again denying all allegations of sexual misconduct at the same time, as it seemed to many that Sam had grown to regret the polarizing persona he had given himself over the past several years, and between all the self-loathing, vowed to start fresh by uploading different content from then on out, as long as we gave him a second chance.
My whole thought process was stupid. I was an idiot. I put across this image, and there's all these channels making videos about me and people saying stuff about me, and I'm watching and I'm like, well, yeah, like, I guess, like, that's who I've made people think, and I've fallen into that category. I don't want you to feel sorry for me, but I feel like stupid having to ask this, but I want a second chance. Like, I'm really asking you guys, like, please give me a second chance.
In the aftermath of Sam's apology, he began uploading vlogs that were a lot tamer in comparison to, exterminating his friend on a rooftop. Unfortunately, they've all been removed now, so classic Sam, I guess. He made a few stupid challenge videos that still remain up today, and although they received pretty good views, I can't imagine anyone above the age of 9 could have enjoyed any of this.
Okay, so we found our dream location. It's up in the...
But it was during this era when he moved in with popular Twitch streamer, ex-Twitch streamer, Ice Poseidon, and was promptly thrust into the exuberant and chaotic world of IRL streaming, which was quite the trip.
That's what you want to do. Are you serious? Hey, stop. Are you serious right now? Relax. Serious? I'll fuck you up. Chill, dude.
Sam Pepper and Ice Poseidon reportedly met at an influencer beer pong tournament sometime in 2018. With Ice recognizing Sam as a natural entertainer, he sort of helped revive his career by allowing him to act as a sidekick alongside IRL streams.
Sam Pepper and I used to stream together. Yo, dude, are you down to stream together one day?
What, like, just do something?
That's what this guy asked. All right, DeFiant, we're gonna do some shit in the future then.
And you guys can rip me as much as you want then, so start, like, preparing your material.
I mean, every time they rip you, I get money, so at least we're good smart with that.
Wherever Ice went, Sam was soon to follow. And we all know at this point, wherever Sam goes, drama isn't far behind.
So I was hoping that you'd give us a little bit of insight into what exactly is going on with this whole situation, Sam Pepper being removed from the network.
Okay, so obviously I don't want to really go into too much detail because it's kind of personal.
Sam's role in Ice Poseidon's circle didn't last long, thanks to his shady, snake-like tendencies exploding in an online feud that resulted in Sam being dropped from Ice's streaming network. I'll spare you the details of their falling out because it's all petty and not really worth my time, to be frank. Let's just say it involves a military truck, a guy named Scuffed Steve Jobs, and Sam being the familiar fucking idiot we all know him to be.
Scuffed Steve Jobs was talking shit about Sam. Sam texted me and he was like, why didn't you defend me? It got into like a little argument and I just started ignoring his texts. He decides to text my girlfriend. It was the stuff that he said to her that I thought was a little bit manipulative. In my perspective, I thought he was trying to like dictate her emotions to get one over on me, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, this is just how I felt when I saw the screen caps.
So Sam's manipulative behavior got him kicked from the group, satisfying the Ice Poseidon fan base and some of the very streamers who had known Sam personally.
Sam Pepper. I fucking hate Sam. You know, I gave him benefit of the doubt. I gave Sam benefit of the doubt for ages. And then he tried to sleep with the girl I brought, Connie. Who I'm not dating. I can't date Connie. She lives in another country. Tried to have sex with Connie. I was like, you just don't do that to your friends, bro. Like, who fucking does that? That's such a, like, I know, I hate the snake meme, but that's such a snake thing to do. Fuck that guy.
At the beginning of 2019, Sam Pepper's actions had once again gotten him ostracized from another community, forced to adapt once more and find a way to thrive in the current landscape. But this time, he had had enough of YouTube and set out for a new frontier. Later in 2019, Sam and his girlfriend would go viral on TikTok, thanks to a video of them saving some baby ducks, generating a grand total of 2 million likes and over 10 million views. It was at that moment, I assume, that Sam saw a new opportunity and began posting pretty regularly to TikTok, quickly getting tens of millions of views and building up his profile to over 4 million followers, which is a bigger reach than his YouTube channel at its peak, getting over 100 million likes by barely even showing his face. Not like his fans on TikTok really recognized him or his name from YouTube, though. Kids on TikTok are a completely different demographic than what he's used to. They weren't around for the slew of controversies on YouTube in the mid-2010s. On TikTok, Sam can be a completely new person, which is exactly what he was looking for. At the time of me writing this, Sam's net worth is estimated somewhere in the millions. For years, he's been lambasted by some of the biggest and most influential members of the community, getting himself into scandal after scandal, only to wipe his digital footprint and rebrand himself as a new person, until he screws that up and the cycle continues. This is the never-ending grift of Sam Pepper, and I hate to say that it's worked in his favor for years, to the point where I know he's financially well off today because he's been peddling crypto scams to his audience in 2021, being exposed by CoffeeZilla back in June for his affiliation and orchestration of the now infamous Save the Kids token, which is very funny, I will say.
Can I tell you something about I learned from talking to Sam Pepper?
Tell me.
The man is a master manipulator. I felt like he was trying to manipulate me the entire time. The second he started talking to me, he's so manipulative, and he's so much better at it than Kay. I could just tell immediately. So one thing he would do is like, he would address every single thing I would say that he had a valid point on, and never talk about, just ignore every question that like he couldn't defend. So I'd be like, hey man, like this looks like you're fleeing from the like US. And he goes, no, dude, I mean, the UK just lifted their mask mandate. I had to go back. And I was like, but what about the like car you sold? And he was like, what do you respond? And then I'd ask another question, and if he had a good response, he'd respond. But if he had no great response, he just like would stay silent. Like, so he knows the game.
If you ask me, Sam is a manipulative rat to his very core, and ultimately exists to capitalize on whatever money-making trend will benefit him the most. He's already demonstrated a lack of morals, compassion, and respect for other people's boundaries over the past however many years he's stuck around. He's like a disease that will never be cured. All we can do is document his history of monumental missteps and educate others who may not know better, until maybe one day when he leaves the internet forever. In the meantime, though, at least we can enjoy this clip.
Yo, Jen, do you mind saying what's up to my live stream?
Keep on, keep running. Running and running. Keep on, keep running. Running and running.
My friend kind of just sat there and watched it happen.
To be fair, I don't know what he's supposed to do in that situation. Die? Like what? Like this situation is ridiculous. Of course you're not gonna do anything because he got very serious. Hello, Austin. Austin show's here, everybody.
I invited myself on the show.
You just dove in here.
What's up?
I haven't even
almost said the F slur.
Yeah, you can't do that.
What's up, y'all? How we doing? Happy Sunday fun day.
Well, it's not exactly it's not exactly a Sunday, nor is it a happy day. We're going to be talking about the Israeli hostage extraction mission that killed 125 Palestinians, and so.
Do you have anything else to maybe discuss prior to that, or is there?
Well, sure.
You know, we don't have to. You know what? I don't have to be here. It's okay.
No, it's fine. We're gonna do that right now. We're gonna.
I don't have to be here. No, don't feel bad.
It's fine.
I don't want to be your charity
It's
case.
fine.
It's okay. Well, happy Saturday, everybody. It's June 8th. Pride Month is in full force. It's LA Pride this weekend. I am missing LA Pride. Not going. Had too much Pride fun last weekend in West Hollywood. Hope you're having a great Pride Month. I haven't, I'll be honest, I feel like, since we're on a political broadcast here, the conservatives have they been out in full force hating Pride, on Pride, or they've been so stuck on the Trump trial
because
that they haven't been as homophobic as they normally are? I mean, granted, we still have a lot of the month left.
It's also because, like, there hasn't been a lot of...
So I actually think that the gay agenda is working. I think
the gay agenda is not working.
Wait, what?
Because corporations are not as, like, heavy-handed on their Pride stuff this year, I don't think.
They aren't.
Because they're afraid of the
backlash.
Conservative backlash, yeah.
Yep.
Gays haven't been as gay this month. I agree. You need to gay it up more.
Look, I'm trying. I'm wearing a little belly shirt.
But yeah, as it my real friends are going to be attending the roomies. Blau, Elam, Foosleep, and Valkyrie will be at the 1,000 Buckets Challenge tomorrow. And in preparation for that, apparently they've been shooting themselves. They've been taking some 3-point shots. So let's take a look.
3, 2, 1, go!
Wow. Oh God, you're never gonna. The journey's never gonna.
What is well, it's fine. I have to be the one shooting regardless, not him.
Okay.
Bro, what is this release? Blau's actually not that bad, even though I cooked both of them. Bro is flicking it like that. That's crazy. He's doing a finger roll from the 3-point line, which is impressive.
Jesus Christ, Blau. Oh my God.
God damn, he's got some big ass calves. Bro, do you want to?
Yeah, no. I'm ready. I'm doing stuff. I'm ready for fun.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on, Hassan. I'm sorry. You know what? Look at me. Do I look like a basketball player?
I know, but look at his calves. You can.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. You're like, let me make this gayer for you.
I'm trying to bring you into the combo.
Look at his ass cheeks, Austin. Come on. Look at his ass, Austin. Look at his calves.
So
no, Blau's good looking. He's a good looking guy.
He's a good looking guy.
He's a good looking guy.
But yeah, it's just this release is all out of whack though. He like moves his hands in a weird direction.
Can I tell you the most unattractive part of Blau is?
What?
He's straight.